Additionally, many delegations sent message due to their domestic circumstance. They were unable to attend, so our international delegations will read them on behalf of them. First, Communist Party of Belgium.
Dear comrades and friends, the state of Israel and the state of Ukraine today meets the economic, political and military criteria of a fascist state from Belgium. Financial capital, particularly US financial capital, as the driving force of imperialist monopoly capital, took power in the states of Israel after British imperialism, weakened by World War II, was replaced in Palestine, Israel by US imperialism. Israel is today the bridgehead for US economic and military penetration in the Middle East. In 1997, Brzezinski formulated in the Grand Chessboard the US strategy in Eastern Europe aimed at dividing the Soviet Union, separating Ukraine from Russia in order to weaken and further divide it. The involvement of former President Joe Biden's son in a business venture in Ukraine is a good illustration of US economic imperialism in that country. In Israel for decades and in Ukraine since 2014, fascism has abandoned the democratic and hidden form of fascism, such as elections, and has organized a terrorist and genocidal regime killing tens of thousands of people. Regarding Ukraine, instead of taking advantage of the change of presidency in the US and Donald Trump's willingness to find peaceful solution, held Europe, the oldest of all colonial and imperialist powers, which has already caused 2 wars in 25 years, is relaunching a monstrous arms race costing hundreds of billions of, and it's strengthening its boomerang-like and ineffective sanctions against Russia, with which it claims to be at war with China as its ultimate target. Whole Europe is deluding itself that Russia could be defeated by Zelensky's fascist regime and that Russia could return the conquered territories. Zelensky does not say what he will do if the millions of Russian speakers living in these regions that the Kiev regime has been bombing and massacring for 11 years, under the command and with the silence of America, Europe and NATO. This old Europe, which proclaims itself capitalist, liberal, free enterprise and competitive, increasingly expansionist and annexionist, is a sham. It does not want peace. It wants to wage wars of conquest. This is one of the reasons why the Communist Party of Belgium wants Belgium to leave NATO and see it dissolved, because NATO has been imperialist since its foundation, aiming for world hegemony, and we want Belgium to leave the imperialist alliance that today forms the European Union. The so-called Russian threat does not dates back to the war in Ukraine, but to Churchill's famous fear speech delivered in the presence of Harris Truman at Westminster University on March the 5th, 1946. This is true that at the time the alleged threat was Soviet expansion. This threat still exists despite the fact that the Gorbachev counter-revolution brought Russia back into the capitalist camp. Some on the left are content to proclaim that imperialism is the highest stage of capitalism. This leads them to denounce the 3 imperialisms that are supposedly the Global West, Russia and China. They forgot that When capitalism is in deep crisis, which is currently the case, it enters its final phase. Strong power, its most racist, including Russophobia, brutal, bestial, and murderous form, fascism, and ultimately war. And this is what threatens the whole of Europe today. We must reaffirm that Russia does not want war, does not want to invade Europe, that London, Paris, Brussels, Rome, etc. Russia, like China, is currently preparing huge development plans, achievements that will astonish the world. These two countries within the BRICS Plus are also preparing the conditions for new international relations based on peace, development and cooperation, despite their differences in regime, a new world. Long live the victory over fascism, and long live peace between people. Thank you.